Hi, thank you for clicking play. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing your time and energy and love with me. So, Spirit has been urging me to share my hero's journey, and it is a journey that I am still going through and experiencing. And I've just been taking it one day at a time and be remaining present with what is happening. But that's not how it always has been. So first, I would just like to say that if it doesn't resonate with you, then totally fine. Just go ahead and go to another video. But my intention for this is that this will reach those who need it most at this time, and can share some insight, wisdom, and love with those who are going through similar experiences, and sharing my realizations and the unfoldment of each situation and experience as I've been growing and evolving as a being. And I also just want to take this time to say that this is not a way for me to complain or blame. This is a way for me to go through my own healing process with everything that I have experienced, and assisting those to find their light and their power within themselves. And the time is now. The time is now to really step up and to stand in our power. And this is very much so out of my comfort zone. I'm feeling the channels already coming through, but feeling a lot of heat and resistance as well, because something that I have became accustomed to until probably a few years ago is repressing my emotions and suppressing what has been coming up for me, just pushing it down and shoving it underneath the rug, and just resisting what was happening. I wasn't feeling through the experience. I wasn't enjoying the journey, although these were experiences that I signed myself up for. And I have received much clarity and confirmation that this is my last lifetime here on earth. And I signed myself up for all these experiences so that I can experience them, but also feel them so deeply that it radiates outwards all around me. But being how I was raised and the environments that I put myself in, that didn't transpire in that way. And so now I'm coming to the realization that all of this is unfolding exactly how it's meant to, right? And so let me just go from the beginning. Hi, my name is Kayla, and or whatever you want to call me. It's really just the label, right? And I'm really no thing and nobody. We're a consciousness, and we're undefinable, really, yeah. And my I don't want to say my life hasn't been easy. It's been a roller coaster for sure. But I'm very grateful for all of the experiences that I have endured and I have overcame. You know, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And as I said before, we signed up for these experiences to either assist us in healing from other lifetimes, other dimensions, or to show us lessons and truths about ourselves and to dive deeper into ourselves. So whenever we become triggered, we dive deeper into ourselves, and then we start to uncover more of ourselves. And so by sharing my journey and my experiences and the unfoldment of everything, I really feel like it's going to unlock a lot within me, and then that will radiate outwards into the collective, into Mother Earth, who really needs it the most right now. Mother Earth is feeling that she is separate from Source and from us, but we are all one. So let me just take a sip of water real quick. So I'm a starseed and light worker and all of these labels, if you may. Like I said, we're undefinable. We're consciousness. We're all unique expressions of the one, of the divine love and light. And so let me just start off by saying that my mission here on Earth, part of my mission, is guiding others to find their own light and power and step into that. And I'm an activator and a healer, just a channel, right? A channel for these activations and for these insights and wisdom to come through. And so let's just start from the beginning. When I was very young, by the time I was 3 years old, I was able to speak full sentences. I was very intelligent. I was very kind, loving, outgoing. And I was saying from such a young age that that I'm here to spread love and peace, and I'm from a different galaxy, I'm from a different planet, and many people obviously did not believe that, did not resonate with that, and that's totally fine. But I knew from a very young age, I was very conscious coming into this world, because like I said, this is my last lifetime here. And so I also was traveling out of my body. I was astral projecting every single night, but I was unaware of what this actually meant and what I was actually doing. And I'm still gathering pieces on what that is, and we leave our bodies every night, but I was consciously aware of this. And I had many, you can call imaginary friends, more imaginary friends than real friends. And I was bullied a lot in school, by my family, by my friends, by a lot of people. And that really caused me to dim my light and to not be my true authentic self. So, that started very young. And I would have to say that it really started in like middle school. But let me backtrack a little bit and express this experience that I endured when I was 3 to 5, very young. Excuse me. It's making me a little uncomfortable, but I'm here to share it. I've healed from it. I've overcame it. I have forgiven. I have let it go. But it's not something I've shared with anyone, really. I haven't really shared my story with many people. I haven't been vulnerable, and now this is my time to shine. So, yes, I was molested at a very young age by my step-grandfather. And just recently, I have acquired the knowledge that he was actually, there was a soul contract that we made so that I could have a healing from a time whenever I was an interdimensional being in that lifetime. And I went through a very traumatic experience there, and I asked the being who was my step-grandfather in this lifetime to play the role of being a child molester in this lifetime so that I could get the healing that I needed and deserved. And so I challenge you to really look into your traumatic experiences and view it from a higher perspective and see it from all angles, and know that we're all divine beings playing a divine role in this divine play. And, there's no one who is worse or better than anyone. We are who we are, and we are enough. We are divine. We are perfect. We are whole. And there's this illusion that we're separate, that we're not, that we have fixing to do, that we have work to do, that we cannot create abundance from within. But the truth is, everything comes from within. True love comes from within. When you start to truly love yourself, then you can really fully and truly love others. Power comes from within. Once you find the power within yourself, you can step into your power outside in the outside world. So it all starts internal, and then it just radiates outward, right? And so, I went through that experience, and then I was told that it was a dream, that it did not happen, that it was in my head, that it just didn't happen. And every time that this experience would occur, I would be running a fever, I would be very sick and ill, and I was being drugged. And now I have uncovered other parts of that, such as I was having a pillow put onto my face, and I was like low-key almost dying as this young child. And so seeing that's totally valid, right? That's totally valid to feel upset. It's totally valid to feel angry. That's all perfect. And that's how we work through these experiences. But we're unaware of how deep the root really goes. And so that is something that I am trying to create, is a kind of a life coaching program that starts to really dive deep into what the root is, unravel it, and then replace it and recode it and all this stuff. But that's a working process. So my mom would tell me when I was younger also that I could move things with my mind, that I was very gifted, that I was very special. And, pardon me, I didn't understand this. 14:14, as I look at the clock. I didn't understand this. I didn't know what that meant. My mom in this lifetime is a being who I have worked with in many other lifetimes, and we now share a purpose now that she's on the other side of the veil. And she used to beat me with wooden spoons when I was younger, and I would just repress what was happening. And I would tell my dad, and I would be like, listen, this isn't okay. Like I'm being beaten. And, that caused a lot of conflict between my mom and dad as well. And then, so yeah, what did I realize from that? I realized from that, and she would always tell me to shut up and be quiet. And yeah, I realized, like, I'm not here to shut up. I'm not here to dim my light. I am here to be myself unapologetically. And doesn't matter how uncomfortable it makes someone feel. That's my truth, and I'm here to share it, and I'm here to bring that to this plane of existence. And confirmation burp. 1555. So yeah, changes and transformation. Oh gosh, I'm really sweaty. Because like I said, this is uncomfortable for me. This is not something I'm used to doing. And I appreciate you if you're still listening. And maybe this won't reach anyone, and that's okay too. But maybe it will. And so yeah, all right. So the next experience was whenever I was in 3rd grade. I was in acrobats, and I was like one of like the best on the team or whatever. And I was very flexible and very talented, and I actually seen myself going to the Olympics someday. And I was very active, and I was very focused and determined and goal-oriented around this. And then one day, I'm not sure what that alarm is for. Interesting. So yeah. One day I was at practice, and the instructor asked me to go get the other girls that were in the bathroom because we were about to begin. And so I went into the bathroom, and it was pitch black, completely dark. And I turned on the lights, and I was like, hey girls, like, it's time to go to practice. It's time to, get everything situated and come. And we're about to begin. And they were like hiding in the stalls. And I was like, what are you doing? And they were like, oh, you just interfered with our ritual. Like, she's going to come get you. And I was like, who? And they're like, Bloody Mary. And I was like, what? Like, I had no clue who this was, what this was, like completely out of my realm. I didn't understand what was going on. And so I was just laughing it off, and was like, okay, like, that's funny. But yeah, we're going to we're going to be beginning practice. So we go out, and the instructor was like, Kayla, can you show the class how to do a walkover back handspring? And I was like, perfect. Yes, I can. And, this is something I have done many, 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 many times. Usually out in the grass, But, I was like, of course, yeah, I can do that. And that day, there was no spotter. There was no mat. And I was like, this is interesting. Like, what's going on here? I'm getting chills as I'm speaking about this. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just go with it, right? Like, I've done this so many times. What could possibly go wrong? So I'm in the process of it. And if you know what that is, it's doing like a cartwheel round off into a back bend. And so I'm coming up from the last part, which is the back bend. And I'm getting dizzy, like can't see. And I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I fall back where there's no mat, there's no spotter. and I hit the back of my head and smashed my neck off of the ground, the tile floor. So, in that moment, everything just stopped. I just didn't even realize what was happening. There was so much adrenaline going through my body. There just wasn't any thoughts happening. I was just so confused and I couldn't move. And I was just like, okay, like what's going on? And unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, because, like I said, I signed up for this experience. So I was moved and then I blacked out completely. And them moving me is actually what triggered my brain damage. And that's why I have to wear glasses now. I had 20/20 vision before this. And so, yeah, I go into the ambulance and, like I said, just really out of it. And going back to stores saying, like, listen, like, I'm not doing this mission anymore. Like, I didn't sign up for this. And they're like, oh, but you did. And you are capable of getting through this, or you wouldn't have volunteered. And I was like, okay, all right. So I come back into my body and I'm in the hospital and and then the doctor was like, okay, get up and walk. And I was like, okay, yeah, like it was just a minor injury. I'm fine. I try to get up to walk and I just fall. Like I can't feel anything, completely numb. And then it hits me like, oh shit, I'm paralyzed right now. I'm paralyzed. And this was like really tough for me because I was so active and I was so inspired to be an acrobatic, maybe that's a better word, whatever. But I was like, oh wow, this is like a really serious injury. And then that's whenever the doctor ordered for me to get life flighted to Children's Hospital. And yeah, so I got life flighted to Children's Hospital, and all I just remember is just seeing lights. Like it was just very bright. And next thing I know, like a catheter is like, being inserted inside of me. And I'm just crying, like there's just tears running down my face, but I can't move, can't feel anything. And then I get into my room in Children's Hospital, and I am just so sad. I'm so depressed. I'm so confused and what's happening and why is this happening to me and what did I do wrong, and all this nonsense just starts to flood my being. And then, whoa, it's getting really bright. Okay, the sun is right there, I guess. Well, it's fine. It is what it is. Okay, so yeah, I have to have a neck brace around me and also be in a wheelchair. And a few months go by and not seeing any progress. And I hear the doctor, saying to my parents, like, she has a 20% chance of ever walking again in her whole entire life. I was like, oh no, like this can't be happening, like this can't be real. And in that moment, I just got this download pretty much to say like, okay, yeah, that could be a possibility, but it's also possible to overcome this. So start visualizing yourself walking, telling people that you're able to walk and feed into that energy and manifest this. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure, let's do this. What do I have to lose at this point? And yeah, I was very young. But I started to do this. And I just was very adamant about it. And I was not eating. I was barely drinking water. Like, I was very, very depressed. My energy state was not high at all. And, but I was so focused on walking again. Like, put all of my energy and all of my enthusiasm into that. And I visualized people walking like penguins, which was interesting. I'm not really sure what that was about. But so then I went into this experience where I don't know exactly if I was possessed or if I was fighting an entity or what was happening, because I wasn't very conscious or aware of what was occurring. But there was this experience that happened when I was in the hospital where I was so-called fighting this entity. And I said, I have the God power within me. I can overcome you. I can beat you. I whatever it was. And then I was like projectile vomiting. I was speaking in a different language, which I have now realized was light language. And then after that, I actually lost my memory. I couldn't speak. Nothing was there. And so the doctors were like, okay, let's bring her back to where she grew up. Maybe that will trigger some memories, trigger some emotions or insights of who she is. And I didn't remember my parents. I didn't remember my siblings, nothing, no one. And then I go back to the house and I didn't remember anything of living there. I didn't recall any memories being there. And then I'm in the car and we're going back to the hospital. And then I just start screaming at the top of my lungs, and I'm having so much pain in my stomach. And that was the first sound that came from me since this experience happened whenever I was in the hospital. And so I started screaming. I was in so much pain. I was in so much distress. And I get to Feral Hospital and they were like, no, we don't believe you. And I was like, okay, well, then my parents were like, well, can we get some imaging done? Like, can we just figure out what's going on? Because something clearly is happening. And so then I drink this like really nasty fluid, and it's for your appendix and for looking at your organs, to see if they're functioning properly, if there's inflammation, like what's going on with them. And then I get I believe it's called a CT scan. Could be incorrect about that, even though I used to be a scientist. I might be incorrect, but anyways, that's kind of irrelevant. But I get a scan done to check my appendix, and lo and behold, my appendix were about to burst. So I had to get life flighted again back to where I was before, Children's Hospital. And I had to go into emergency surgery because my appendix were about to burst. And once my appendix came out, I got my memory back. I remembered who I was. I remembered who everyone was. I was able to speak again. Very interesting. And yeah, so that's where I'll end today. I have a lot more to share, so this is going to be exciting. And I thank you for being here if you stayed until the end. And I send so much blessings and love and gratitude to you. And yeah, stay tuned for the next video. Much love.